Alright, hey guys, and welcome to probably the most controversial topic on Animal Jam today. Do non-members have enough rights? Now this is really a difficult question to answer, and disclaimer, I don't honestly know. On one hand, Animal Jam needs money to keep their game running, to keep updates coming, to just make their game good. But on the other hand, Animal Jam needs players. People aren't going to pay right off the bat. There are some games, like World of Warcraft, that have tried to do that. They charge you money and then immediately they have you pay a subscription fee, but it just didn't really work, and after a few years of doing that, they let you level up to level 20 before you had to start paying a subscription fee, and it works pretty well because they kept it going. And Animal Jam kind of has a similar mentality, but the question is, where do you draw the line between attracting new players and attracting their money? So, Animal Jam, to this day, I believe, has done a fairly good job of keeping non-members and members in check. The one thing that I have a problem with, and no, this is not going to be a video about whether non-members are discriminated against, because I know that that's a really big point of conversation in a lot of people's discussion of non-members, but honestly, I don't think that anyone looks down on non-members as lesser. I don't know, maybe that's just what I get from playing a member, but the reason I wanted to make this video is because recently, well actually for the past 3 weeks, Julian 2 has been suspended, and I didn't really get told why. So basically, I've been playing on my non-member account, Yanni Cat, named after my cat who passed away this summer. And I've kind of experienced the non-member struggle, and I've realized that it is pretty tough. I mean, you want to make a look, you go and maybe you can get like half the set you want, but you can't get the other half. Or like, maybe you want a golden glove, but you can only have a silver glove. Maybe you want a golden chain, but you can only have a silver chain. And maybe this doesn't seem like that big of a deal to you, but it seems like Animal Jam is taunting non-members with this kind of things. They put the diamond shop in big, bold letters right in front of your face, and they're just like, give us money, play our game, give us money. And that makes sense. They need to make money. They're a company, they're not a charity. They're run by National Geographic, which, though it's a charitable company, is still a company. I do think they've done a good job of kind of keeping non-members in the game and not excluding them, but also not giving them the full advantages. But there comes a point where there are so many stereotyped non-member looks because non-members frankly just have so few items that they don't have the items that they want in order to make good looks, so they become stereotyped because the items that they have to choose from are so few that there's a reason you've become stereotyped with police hats and worn blankets and necklaces, because those are like the only items that they have to choose from. There just frankly aren't that many items. And the problem is not only that Animal Jam isn't giving non-members enough items, but it's that Animal Jam isn't releasing enough items total. They want to make sure that non-members have a limited access to the total item pool so that they're encouraged to pay money. But the problem is the item pool is not that big on Animal Jam compared to a lot of other games. I feel like in general, Animal Jam spends a lot more time on making new animals and cool armor sets rather than just kind of like silly hats they can throw in store like a lot of other games do. So non-members end up with a lot less stuff than members do. And then when Animal Jam does release stuff that's for non-members, usually it's like non-members get half of it. It's like, they get half of the set, or they get a worse version of the items that members get. And so that is the big problem with clothing, in my opinion, on non-members. The point where I think non-members are pushed against the most is when it comes to dens. Non-members just don't get a den. You just can't really make a non-member den. As Animal Jam has released more and more dens, you know what? They've been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then like bigger, except they're like the bigger version of the big dens. And you just get these ridiculous freaking dens. They're huge. You can't even fill them up. Yet, non-members are still stuck with their like small house. I mean, it's actually called a small house because it's small and it's a house. Meanwhile, members are actually getting castles and fantasy castles and princess castles and just gigantic sky palaces and ice kingdoms, and non-members have a small house. I think if you gave them some of the old dens that are kind of irrelevant nowadays, the tree house, maybe the castle, things like those, then maybe non-members would have more of an interest in decorating their den, and therefore, maybe if decorating your den is your favorite part of Animal Jam, you want to go try it out because you had so much fun with your treehouse or your castle and the random items that Animal Jam gave you, that you want to go and try it out in a way that you probably wouldn't get to experience and know how much you loved if you hadn't gotten those items to try out, if you were just stuck with your small house and your welcome mats and your pillows for your entire life on Animal Jam. And of course, I know I said dens are probably the biggest problem, but it just occurred to me that non-member animals. A lot of people argue that lore-wise it doesn't make sense for Animal Jam to add more non-member animals because the Heartstones are from the 6 original animals, and so those can be the only non-member animals, but that doesn't really make sense. Animal Jam could do whatever they want. They break the lore all the time to add new stuff. So much stuff doesn't fit with the lore, but they just do it because they want to and they think it's cool, and it's fine. Nobody really minds. So why are there so few non-member animals. And not only is it just that there are no non-member animals, well, there are like 6 or 7, but it's that the member animals that are released are in the diamond shop, so it becomes even harder because all of a sudden it's not like you can just get a membership, buy the animal you want, try it out. No, you have to have a membership for like 10 weeks. Yeah, that's like $15 to get something that you want, unless you get luck and the daily spin, which apparently I'm not very good at because I don't get diamonds ever. Overall though, Animal Jam has done a much better job with keeping non-members interested in their game, and there are some people who even play the game as non-members on purpose and just choose not to pay because they don't think it's worth their money. Games like Club Penguin, I don't know, I haven't checked in a while, but from what I remember of Club Penguin, when you played, if you were a non-member, you could get a blue puffle and a red puffle, and you couldn't get any clothing, you couldn't change your den, you couldn't do any of that. You just had 2 puffles, and that was like it. Animal Jam overall is pretty good about this stuff, and I have to give them some credit. And you can't really blame them for not releasing stuff. I know it's really hard if you're a non-member. Maybe your parents don't want you to pay, maybe you don't have the money to pay, maybe you don't believe in paying money for games, but overall, you can play the game as a non-member, and that is a really crucial part of the game. The one thing, to summarize this video, the one thing that I would say Animal Jam needs to do is release some of the old content that's become irrelevant for non-members so that at least someone can enjoy it. Because nowadays everyone's using these ridiculously huge diamond shop dens and these brand new fancy, ridiculously expensive items, and no one's really using those items that were really popular a few years ago. So why not hand them over to non-members? They'll still be encouraged to play more, and they'll still be encouraged to buy membership more. Yeah. So I do think Animal Jam could do a little more for non-members, but I'm not complaining with what we have right now. There's no pressing urge to fix it. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. I know I am. I know it's not the most interesting series all the time, but the purpose of this channel is really to educate people about Animal Jam and to make them understand the game better as a whole. And I don't really always want to upload kind of silly, short, comedic, entertaining videos. I do like to upload serious talks about Animal Jam and the ways I think it could be better and the ways I think the community could improve their intelligence as a whole. So yes, this is one of those videos. I'm sorry if I bored you, but I thought this was something I should address because it seems like something that comes up a lot is the rights of non-members. So yeah, anyways guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Julian too, and I hope you enjoy. Bye!